Hello, I am so excited that we are starting a new series. This is Brenda Novak Indie Bookstore series, and I have told many people that if I wasn't a writer, I would definitely own a bookstore. And you know that second choice is a chocolate shop. But anyway, bookstore would be first, and I think it would be so fun to have a little cafe in there. Maybe someday I'll be able to do that. But anyway, indies really need our help right now. After COVID, it's been so hard. Many of them have been shut down. And as you know, it's hardest on small businesses when we go through something terrible like this. The big boys can usually weather it, and the mom and pops usually get hurt the worst. So Alexa and I were brainstorming on what we could do to draw more attention to the indie bookstores around, because some of them I don't even know about, and I'll learn from other authors about a great indie in their area. So I thought, you know what, a lot of it is just knowledge of where to find these places and how to become more familiar with them. So we wanted to start with FoxTale Book Shoppe, which is in Georgia. This is a place where I was going to have an in-person event, but because of COVID, I wasn't able to do that. So we thought, what better place to start with than FoxTale for our first video tour, and they were nice enough to agree. And I wanted to let everybody know right up front that we're offering a fun special that if you pre-order my new book, Bookstore on the Beach, which comes out April 6th from FoxTale Book Shoppe, you'll get an autographed book plate that will be sent with the book. And you will also get, if you do it within the next 24 hours, a $5 gift certificate to the Brenda Novak store, where we sell our fabulous monthly Brenda Novak book boxes and our fun, we just finished our little Valentine that we had going, and we've got several other bookish packages. So you'll have to check that out if you haven't already. So now I get to speak to Gary, who is with FoxTale Book Shoppe. And I know many of you on the post that we put up today submitted a question of what you would like to know as far as how they run their bookshop, how they got started, and if it's really as glamorous as it sounds to own a bookshop. So let's talk to Gary. We'll bring him on. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Brenda.
How are you?
Tonight. Good. A little cold here in Georgia, which might surprise people. It's 25 degrees. So we're having a
wow, that sounds so chilly for a Californian.
Yes. So
you told me you had 3 layers when you went to work?
I did. I took off one, and now I just have 2 layers on, but it's pretty cold for us.
Oh my gosh. I'm one of those people that I'm not very good at geography, and I pictured Georgia as being just balmy and warm and maybe even humid like Florida. But your weather is quite different? Yes,
we have a full change of seasons here. And we even get snow, a little sprinkling once or twice a year. But
wow.
our grass goes brown and our trees all lose their leaves. So it's full change of seasons for us. Our summer's a little more humid and a little warmer. So, yeah.
Well, I can't wait to get down there and meet you in person and see your shop. Why don't we start out by letting everybody know where exactly they can find your shop?
Sure. FoxTale Book Shoppe is located in Woodstock, Georgia. And we are about 25-30 minutes north of Atlanta. Woodstock is over 100 years old. It's has a quaint downtown with lots of, restaurants and shops, and an amphitheater, and the gazebo's right out front of our door. So it's really just a very nice, small town, but, certainly modernized.
Sounds like a great place to visit. I wish I would have known of it when the last time I was in Atlanta. I was researching a book, the Fairham Island books, actually, a set of 2. And it was the first time I'd been down there, and I just loved it. And we got to travel around to, we went to I think it's called Dufresne Island are you familiar with that? Not in Georgia. It's in, I think, South Carolina.
I've heard, yeah.
Yeah. So I got to travel all around there, but it was kind of a lightning tour, so I didn't get to learn a lot of in-depth, but I just really needed to see the territory in order to create this island I was trying to create for my stories, and I thought that was very helpful. So the one thing that I love most about indie bookstores is making them a destination. I know that Nora Roberts Bookstore in Boonesboro, Maryland is like that, right? Like, it's a destination. You take your girlfriends or your husband and you go for the day. What would you suggest that everybody do if they come to visit you and make it a day's event? Where would you suggest they either grab a coffee or get lunch or something?
Sure. We one of my favorite places is a local brewery, which, there's men and women there all the time. So it's for everybody. It's dog friendly. and they have a restaurant there as well. But there's other wonderful restaurants. You really can't go wrong in downtown Woodstock with the restaurants. From farm to table to casual family fare. There's a great coffee shop called the Copper Coin. The brewery where I spend a lot of time enjoying actually has a coffee bar inside of it as well. So I can enjoy coffee during the day and maybe have a beer, at night sometimes. And then also have my meals there too. So that's a fun place. And
fun place. Are you located very close to these? You're right downtown with them?
It's all walking distance, yes.
Nice. Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a visitor center. There's a visitor center too with a lot of the Woodstock history. There's murals on the walls. So it's really, really a beautiful place.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So how long has FoxTale been in business?
Sure. It's been 14 years, and I've been with the store 9 years, helping them with their special events and marketing. But yeah, 14 years. It was started by 3 ladies, and now it is owned by just one person, Karen Schwetman.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, it's been here 14 years. It opened when e-readers came out, and people thought the book business was doomed, and it's still going strong.
You know what? Indies have been through so much. If you think about it, I mean, first it was the big box stores, right? I remember when that was going to be the death knell of the indies, and then of course you have Amazon, which is a behemoth, right? And their whole Kindle thing. And so, but for some reason, the resilience of indies is just beautiful because of that hand selling. Do you think that is what would make the difference? What do you think keeps them in business?
Absolutely. We handpick every single title, and every book is handpicked by Karen or myself or staff recommended. So that definitely, and we read the books, our favorite sections, we all have shelves with our favorites. And that's what people tend to go to. They really want to know what we're reading, what we're liking. They've grown to trust our opinion, if you like, of what you might like. We definitely want to put the right book in the right reader's hand all the time.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I think not only is that important, it's important in a cover sense too. Like I just received a cover from my publisher that I just did not think fit the editorial. And I felt like, you know what, that will attract the wrong reader. And you don't want to do a bait and switch where they think they're getting one thing and then the inside is not, right? You want to attract the right reader who's going to like that book. And you guys are experts at figuring out, which types of books go with which types of readers. So you must do a ton of reading.
Do a ton of reading. And you mentioned book covers. I actually have gotten some publishers to change some book covers. An author sent out an early copy of their cover. And I was like, no. Because if we don't know the author or it's not someone... we look at thousands and thousands of books to decide what to carry, and the cover has to catch our attention, just like the readers want it to catch their attention. We definitely fall for the cover, just like it's important for you in your books that it has the cover that evokes what you want it to.
Right.
Same thing. So yeah, and I read a lot, and I listen to audiobooks as well.
I love audio. That's been my new love lately.
Yes.
And now indies have a way to sell audiobooks. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, through Libro FM. So on our website, which is FoxTaleBookShoppe.com, you can see a tab for our online store, audiobooks, even some ebooks, and then gift certificates as well. And we're working with the American Booksellers Association. And right now we have a great online store, but we're going to be enhancing our website in March to be able to offer some of our merchandise and other things that people are interested in having.
Wonderful. Have you noticed a higher adaption rate? I think that's the one silver lining maybe to what we've been through, is that there has been this other avenue that it's opened up, and we've more readily accepted it to do the online sales. Or do you find that you much rather prefer the in-person experience versus the online experience?
Well, we miss the human aspect of interacting with readers one-on-one. But yes, it has opened it up. I mean, we're communicating our love of books and which titles and books through social media, through our newsletter. So yes, it's opened up more markets to us in terms of online orders. Many days our online orders outdo our in-person sales, because
that's great though. That's great.
Yeah, we still are in the pandemic. We do require masks in the store and follow, lots of washing and disinfecting with it as much as you can do with books, of
Right.
course. But yeah, so our online sales have been hugely important. People have been supporting us from all over the country, even some people in Europe. So it's been wonderful how
That's
it's changed, and we feel like we almost have to change the way we do business almost every day.
right. Right.
Yeah.
You have to adapt. And that's what's this whole COVID thing is really pointed out to us. Now, I know you've also done quite a few author events. Do you want to tell us how often you do those?
Sure. We do most primarily through Zoom, and we do usually 2 or 3 a week. We were known in the Southeast for lots of in-person events, from local authors to everyone in between, to major New York Times bestselling authors, reality stars, and we had to transfer that over somehow. So we
Yeah.
do the Zoom events. We get to see our customers locally, and then we've made wonderful new friends from different states and around the country. People tune in, so it's broadened our community and allowed us to still stay connected with our author friends, debut authors especially. So yeah, it's been wonderful, but we do 2 to 3 a week.
Oh, wow. That keeps you busy.
It does. It
Yeah.
does.
Do you reach out to set them up, or do you just react when authors set them up with you?
Both and everything. At this point, with 14 years, we have a great reputation and we're well known. So we get a lot of authors request us. We request authors on the grids, or if we fall in love with an early copy of a book, we may reach out to them. So yeah, it happens all different ways.
Wonderful. Well, Alexa may have told you that we have an online book group on Facebook of almost 19,000 members, and they are the kindest, most supportive book lovers. Well, you know what the book community is like, the reading community, and they are just wonderful. So what Brenda Novak books do you have that they might order from your store?
Sure, we can order anything, but as far as in stock, I'm going to walk over there. So
Over to my
use, yes, let's see. So right here, I'm going to just tilt up a little bit.
oh,
So,
I see.
so we have One Perfect Summer and Before We Were Strangers in stock, but we can order any of them through our online store.
Uh-huh.
And
Wonderful.
we can't wait till Bookshop on the Beach joins these on the shelf.
Yeah, I love books about books. So I was so excited when I pitched this idea to my publisher, and they were in, and I couldn't wait to get the cover. Although this was one of those that we had a little bit of difficulty deciding on exactly what we wanted for the cover. How do you like the cover? Do you think it'll appeal?
Absolutely. It's beautiful. It's
Uh,
really beautiful, and it'll evoke everything that you want it to. People will grab it. If they're going on vacation, they'll want to take it. If they wish they were going on vacation, they'll want it. So I think it's perfect.
Wonderful. Do you have a large stock of autographed books? Is that something that you've been concentrating on a little more since the pandemic?
We always have, and we have a first editions club every month that
Oh,
people can
yes.
subscribe to, and that's on our website as well. And then we do stock a few extra copies each month from there. And we've been saving. We have books in our first editions section, which were published many years ago, but we have them. And then most of our books, or a good portion of them certainly, come with autographed book plates. We had a lot of them beforehand, and now with the pandemic, it's certainly been the way that people go. Our local authors still come in and hand sign.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, yes, we can offer signed book plates for a good portion of our inventory.
Besides the hand selling, I think that niche of being able to offer autographed books, which is a little harder for the big box stores to do, especially maybe Target or Walmart, it's harder for them to do autographed books, right? So that is still a great niche for indies, because not only can they hand sell, but they can get a little stockpile of their favorite and have the authors come in and do signings and events. So I think it fills something that you can't get anywhere else. Now, the many members of our book group actually submitted questions for you that they wanted me to ask you. So let me check out here what we've got just to make sure I haven't missed any. They wanted to know what it was like to survive in the pandemic. I think that we've gone over that pretty well. I think you guys have just pivoted, right? And done what you can to get events going. We
closed for 3 months and still maintained online orders, but then we did reopen in the end of June. Our store is small, a few thousand square feet, but we do require masks. We disinfect, hand sanitizers. We do contactless payment, things like that. So that's how we have survived. But like we said earlier, it's a very pivoting every day.
Yeah, yeah. It's a whole new world out there, isn't it? For authors too. I mean, when my book came out last spring, it was only 2 weeks away before everything shut down. Just as my book was coming out, it was already shipped. So it was one of those things of like, oh no.
Yeah, and with all this going on, the warehouses are behind. We do get limited from the publishers how many books we can buy in some cases.
Oh,
And
really? I had never heard that. Now, see, that's something new.
yeah, we do get limited. They'll say, no, you can get only 6 of those or 12 of those or whatever it may be. So we are limited in some cases. And then we're also relying on, the transportation system in the country and the logistics and things like that. The postal.
Oh, we run into that, believe me. With our online book boxes, we do 750 with an autographed book in each one of the author that we're featuring that month. And I mean, in December especially, they would just take 2 weeks to go first class mail, or we even ran into that in January. So, I mean, it's something that we are all struggling with right now.
Yeah. I think that's why I wanted to mention a lot of people don't realize it. You have to be patient because so much is out of our control.
Yeah, for sure. We're doing our best, aren't we?
Exactly.
Okay, so book lovers can help support your store by going to your website, checking out your events online, ordering online,
Yes.
Making a destination to actually come visit you. As you said, you're now open as long as people wear masks. Do you have a certain limit of number of people who could come in the store?
It hasn't been an issue, but when we've done a few events, we've limited people with signups every 30 minutes or every 15 minutes with, a half a dozen people, perhaps each time frame.
Right.
So it depends on what it is.
Yeah, and your events are mostly online, so you don't have to worry about a line at that point, right?
A large-scale event since the pandemic, which was quite fun, and logistically we did it successfully. We had Nicholas Sparks come.
Oh, wow. I would have been in line for that one. I actually did get his autographed book as from an indie store here in California.
So he came and we had 800 people. And we structured it 30 people every 15 minutes and only 3 people in the store at a time. And we set up a photo screen that was 6 feet away from the photographer, that was 6 feet away from the people. It took a lot of logistics, but he really wanted to come. And quite honestly, the bookstore was really, really struggling before he came. And it was really a godsend that he, chose to come, that he did. And so that was wonderful, a real wonderful blessing, really.
Oh, isn't that nice? Well, I hope that everybody will go and pre-order the Bookstore on the Beach from you, because we are offering some fun incentives. As I said earlier, if you're just joining us, we're offering an autographed book plate inside all of those books, and we are also offering $5 off to the Brenda Novak store. We know a lot of you go on there to purchase our fun mugs and totes and all the other stuff that we offer there, and so you can not only get the book with an autographed book plate from FoxTale, but they're going to give us the emails of those people who ordered from them so that we can send you the, sorry, my mother's calling, of course. Right in the middle of this.
And we also, one other thing they can do is we also have a very active Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So if you follow us on social media, we post book reviews, new books that are being released, old books we love that we think we need to revisit, merchandise, puzzles, all the other kind of gift things that we have as well. While you can't order them online yet, you can certainly see them on Facebook and give us a call and order them.
Right. That's perfect. Now, do you have any Nicholas Sparks left that are autographed? That might be a fun thing for people to order too.
Yes, we do have a handful in stock of the return.
Of the return?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I bet you sell out of those real quick. So, okay, Sarah Colkins wanted to know, what is your top selling genre?
We have 2, historical fiction and contemporary women's fiction.
Okay.
2 most popular that we generally have. We sell very little nonfiction, but quite a bit of fiction. I think people want to escape, especially in these times.
Yeah. Have you noticed a tendency for people to want to read lighter? I've noticed that when things are going really great, suspense kind of booms. And then when things get a little more harrowing in real life, you get a little bit more softer, maybe romance or some of the softer women's fiction.
It's kind of funny because it's a little the opposite of what you said. We're finding people want the lighter, easier reads, and they want to mix it with a lot of domestic suspense thrillers. So we've actually seen an increase an increase in suspense books as well as lighter books during this pandemic, and I can't tell you why. It's just what it's been.
Works out that way. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, kind of the best of both worlds. You get something a little tingling and
in all books, everybody wants hope of some kind, even ones that don't have the happiest endings. As long as, you want to have a character or protagonist to root for, you want to have hope, things like that. So I think even in suspense books, typically the good person at the end makes it.
Yeah, typically you have a happy ending, at least with my suspense books. I write suspense too, or I have in the past, and with my Evelyn Talbot series and stuff. And of course, they always, the bad guy gets his comeuppance, and there's something satisfying about that too, as you say.
Yeah.
So Janice Shaw wanted to know if the genre has changed during COVID, and we just talked a little bit about that. So you have seen a little bit more gravitation toward both polar ends of a little lighter and then the darker suspense, but the more domestic suspense.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Cool. Sydney Kaiser wants to know, how do you pick the books you are going to offer, and how do you know how many to order? I think that's a good question.
That's a great question. Well, in terms of how many books to order, pre-orders definitely help us have a sense of how many books to have, so we can make sure we have them on release day or can ship them out close to release day. So pre-orders help the authors and they help the bookstore as well, because otherwise, quite honestly, it is a guess. If it's a tried and true to author that we know, we can usually say, oh, I can sell, 10 of these or 6 of these or 20 of these, 30 of these, whatever it may be. But if it's not, we might only get 1 or 2, see how they do, and then go from there and reorder if it's something that has been popular, or if it's something that we read and we know that our customers are going to love it.
Right.
As far as how we pick out the books, we look at thousands and thousands of titles online. There are 5 major publishers and a bunch of smaller ones that we work with. And we literally scan thousands and thousands of books. So if it's an author we know, that makes it easy for us.
Yeah.
If it's an author we don't know, then, or it's new to us or their debut, the cover, quite honestly, will catch our eye.
Those covers are so important.
And, we know our readers and we know what they like. We look at the authors who are blurbing the books in some cases, not for the actual blurb, but to see who might be a comparable author to, like, a debut author, for example.
Like if you sell a lot of Debbie Maycomer and she's blurbed somebody, you think, oh, this might be in that same vein, and give a chance on it. So do you typically try to get most debuts just to, kind of help out the new author, or do you wait till they establish a little bit of a following to make sure you can sell it? How's your approach with debut authors?
We try a lot of debut authors. We try to read a lot of them in advance as well. But most of them are, recommended. It might be our sales rep at the publisher or a marketing person or a publicist who says, I think this would be perfect for your shop and for you. So we do carry a lot of debut authors as well as, the ones that are established and tried and true. And the writing community is so wonderful. I mean, writers are always trying to lend a hand and bring up other writers. And, it's just a real great, synchronicity.
I think the love of good books kind of overcomes even the petty jealousies of authors and the competition that go on in this field a little bit more than even any other field where you're competing against other people. It's just the love of a good book. People will push that regardless of who wrote it. Do you feature story times for children?
We do. Because of COVID, we've changed it, but we are doing them outdoors now. We do character or princess story time about once a month in the month where it's not 25 degrees. And we do them out in the gazebo in the city park.
Nice.
The program is called Storytime Live. So we do that, and we offer the...
Actually gave me my love of reading. As I remembered, mine was at the library. It wasn't a local indie at the time, but they had story time. And my mother took me for one session one summer. And I remember how disappointed I was that she never took me back the next year. I really wanted to go, but I was only, 3 or 4. And I remember sitting in that circle and just eating it up. I loved it. So that I'm a huge supporter of story time for children. Yeah, way to go on that. Okay, so now I know that we can't wait to see your store, and you've promised to give us a little bit of a tour. So why don't we check it out real quick?
All right, I'm going to try to do this as best as I can. So
love it, so cute.
Coming in the store. So that's You see, you don't need to see me as much as the store.
It looks great. Look at that sitting area.
And look at the chandelier, greets everybody. We have that. So this is like kind of an overall view of it.
Great job. Yeah, it looks so quaint and everything you'd want it to be. Way to go.
Let's see if I can show the little Parisian window. It's really hard to see, but that is...
It is hard to see, but oh, okay. I do see that. Nice.
It's hard to see. And let me show you our sitting area too. That's one thing people like where I was sitting earlier. You can see the back of the window now a little bit.
Pretty. It's pretty. Yeah. Way to go.
Behind me is a seated area with a faux fireplace and some sitting chairs and Tiffany lamps. Karen, who owns the store, is an interior designer by trade, so it has lots of antique and vintage touches to it.
She's done a great job. I love it.
And we also have a fabulous kids room where there's, yes, that's a bicycle in the air. So
cool.
Yeah, so we have kids books for all ages. And then we also have young adult and middle grade fiction as well. There's nonfiction. Our classic section is behind me. We even have some classic jigsaw puzzles as well. Nice. So, yeah.
So where do you have your events when you have an author?
Our bookshelves are on casters and they move.
Oh, nice.
So the bookshelf, like that giant bookshelf there, moves across the room. So our bookshelves move and we can seat about 50 people, and then standing room, maybe another 20 people or so.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait till we can have an event there. I'm so looking forward to it. What a great little tour. So what's your favorite holiday to decorate for when you're setting up your bookstore? I mean, is it Christmas, of course?
There's a lot. I think I like fall the best, but Christmas has a lot more stuff to it.
That's the thing. There's just a lot more you can do, but I also really like fall because then you can do it, September, end of September-ish, and you got 3 months where you can kind of, well, I guess in December you kind of change it up for Christmas, but I love the fall months for decorating my house, so I imagine it would be the same for a bookstore. Yeah,
it is fun.
And Nicole Duvall wants to know, what's one thing that sets your store apart?
I think it is, well, of course, physically, I think it's a very appealing, warm and cozy store with big comfy chairs you can sit in. But also, I think it's that the people who work here and the staff, they all love to read. They're all going to recommend good books to people. And just the fact that we read books is what is refreshing for a lot of customers coming in. And
you can't take that enthusiasm. You really can't. I mean, you can tell when somebody really loves what they're doing and loves the books that they're recommending.
Absolutely. And I think that's what sets us and, most indies apart. We're real readers. We're not algorithms,
Right.
We don't stock books just because someone says we should. We only stock them if we think they're good and will be well received by our readers.
Wonderful. I love that answer. Before we go, we have one more question. And Lene Gustafson asked, what inspired the name of your bookstore? I think that's really a good one.
So Fox, there's a book called Spirit Animals, and the fox is a symbol for female kind of empowerment and rebirth, almost like a phoenix a little bit. So that's where it came from initially. The ladies that own the store were all into a second or third career. They met in a writing class and came up with the idea of doing the store. And then on a trip, a fox actually ran across the road. So that was also another symbol that they were on the right track.
That was a sign.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing so much about your fabulous bookstore. We can't wait to come and see it in person. And I want to remind everybody, make sure you pre-order the Bookstore on the Beach from FoxTale Book Shoppe in Georgia. They ship. You'll also get an autographed book plate to go with it. And once you order from their store, they will let us know, and we can email you a gift card for $5 to the Brenda Novak store, which is the store on my website, just as a fun extra incentive so that you can support this fabulous indie bookstore. So thank you so much for your time, Gary. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. We appreciate all you do, and we appreciate all the love from readers out there and our author friends.
Yeah.
So have a great night, and thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.